Okay.
Are we going to be able to see when they pop in too?
Yes, I think people are coming in. Hi, everyone. Cool. Welcome. We're going to wait a couple minutes as everyone's starting to join the webinar today. All right. Welcome, welcome. All right, we still have a few people trickling in, so I'm going to wait one more minute and then we will go ahead and get started. We have got a powerhouse webinar for everyone today, so we're super excited. All right. Well, I think it's time. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Kyla Boast. I'm the sales director here at Bandwango. And as I mentioned, we have a super exciting webinar for you today. Today, we're going to dive into the power of influencer marketing. We understand that influencer marketing can be kind of hard to navigate as the landscape is constantly evolving with new platforms, trends, and influencers emerging the market regularly. Additionally, there is a lot of uncertainty around how to find the right influencers that align with your brand, and most importantly, how to measure ROI when you are working with influencers. So for those reasons, we have invited our dear friend and client, Andrea Blake, who is the owner and creator of the Southwest Sampler. The Southwest Sampler is an Arizona-based creative agency. Today, Andrea is going to talk a little bit about her brand and the type of content that she produces. Additionally, she's going to walk through the first passport that she created with Bandwango and talk about her learnings and her findings throughout that creative process. Then we're going to address really those hot topics as it pertains to influencer marketing. At the end of the presentation, we are going to open it up for questions. So feel free to go ahead and add any questions that you might have into the chat. We will be monitoring those and address them at the end of the deck. Okay, so before I pass it over to Andrea to talk about her brand, I just wanted to talk about really how we met Andrea and began working with her. So she was introduced to us by a mutual client. Andrea and the Southwest Sampler were creating digital content for their wine trail. We loved the unique spin that she put on her how-to videos. Not only do they provide that whole reason of like why to download the pass, but also provides that how to use the pass when you are at the winery. The content she created exponentially increased not only passport signups, but also usage for a mutual client. So I'm going to go ahead and play for you the reel that she created at the Vino Stash Winery.
Have you guys heard of this hidden tasting room in Arizona? This is in Sonoyta, just 2 hours south of Phoenix, overlooking stunning mountains and offering delicious locally made wines. It is by appointment only, and this is Vino Stash. Book your tasting and follow for more.
Awesome. So this high quality reel that she created and shared with her vast audience immediately increased visitation and revenue to this hidden tasting room. I mean, I think something like several thousand people went into this tasting room after they saw this reel. So very exciting. And because of this success, we knew that we had to work with Andrea and partner with the Southwest Sampler. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Andrea so she can talk a little bit about her brand, the content that she produces, and her target audiences. Hopefully the video. Okay, let me see.
Have you guys heard of this hidden tasting room in Arizona?
Sorry, guys.
This is in Sonoyta, just 2 hours.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Hi, I'm Andrea Blake. I am the Southwest Sampler. The reason I got started is I live in Arizona. I've lived here my entire life, and I wanted to find new things to do because when you first look at Arizona, you're like, oh, it's so boring. There's cactus, desert. What else is there? So that's when I started to build the brand and share different experiences throughout Arizona. So this is through local businesses, hiking trails, resorts, destinations, everything and anything in the Southwest. That's how I created and started my business. So, um, sorry, the whole thing. Anyway, so yeah, I started that about 8 years ago. And from there, I have been doing it now full time. And yeah, so Kyla, I can't see you anymore. Are you still there?
There we go.
There you go. Okay. I was just making sure you were still there.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so Kyla, can you ask me some questions to get me back on track?
Sure. Okay. Cool. So let's see. Okay. So, Andrea, can you talk a little bit about the content that you produce?
Yes. Okay. So I produce everything in the Southwest as far as Arizona goes. I am very well known in Arizona. I showcase, like I said, local businesses, hiking destinations, resorts, anything and everything in the Southwest is what people come to my page to see, check out, experience, explore. And I've been doing it again for 8 years now. I also started this as a way to, like I said, not only share new things, but to create an engagement with my audience. So something for me is to, Kyla, are you still there? Kyla.
Sorry, everyone. We're having some technical difficulties, but I think we figured it out.
There we go.
Let me know when you guys are back on.
Okay, I'm back on.
Okay, cool.
Okay, apologies, everybody. Okay, so Andrea, can you talk a little bit about your target audience and kind of your goals with your overall brand?
Yes, so my target audience is mainly people either visiting Arizona or people that live in Arizona. It initially started for people who live in Arizona, again, because I'm from here. I've lived here my entire life and I didn't know what there was to do. So for me living here my whole life, I really wanted to gauge the audience into exploring more and really seeing what's in their own backyard, especially for those coming into Arizona, going to Page, Arizona, experiencing the Grand Canyon, and just overall, even like Scottsdale, just things to do in the general area. So that was the main goal. And again, the audience is, as of right now, definitely Southwest Arizona.
Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the coffee collection. So when I was looking at these stats, I was actually pretty blown away by kind of the results of this coffee collection pass. But so essentially, Andrea worked with 11 of her favorite coffee shops in all of the Greater Valley. I think we have one in Tucson as well, and worked with them to provide like a drink or some sort of item of value for pass holders. So this pass is $20 and allows pass holders to experience, all of the great coffee locations throughout the greater Phoenix area. To date, we've sold about 350 passports. And this is what really blows my mind is that we have almost 1,000 redemptions at 11 participating coffee shops. That means that we've sent or Andrea has sent over 100 people into the doors of these local businesses. Now, as a local business, I'm sure they are definitely very excited about the ROI and seeing new people and exposing their business to all of this new clientele. So now I'm going to pass it over to Andrea. She's going to talk a little bit about why she created this pass specifically and how she's kind of marketed this pass and then some lessons and learnings that she's found while marketing this pass.
Cool. And kind of actually bringing it back to what you said, how it gets people in and like the ROI and all that. So I am very close with the coffee shops that I work with, the actual owners, and they have been telling me that they see very often people using the pass and then coming back in. And they always have people saying that they didn't even know that their shop otherwise existed. So that's cool. That was the whole goal. So now bringing it back to goals. So the goal was to not only bring in different people into these local businesses, but I wanted to support local business and also give my audience something that they can visually and physically go do. So not only are they seeing me do it, but now they have the opportunity to go explore and see it for themselves. And again, this is a very curated pass, so I only allow companies that I truly believe in on the pass. And that's another thing, is I don't work with companies if it does not fit me, my brand. I only work with companies that I truly, genuinely love to go explore and would do on my own time. So I think that that's huge when looking for a content creator, is make sure that they are true to their brand, because it really, really shows through. So what worked was within the pass, when we first started the pass, there were a little bit of hiccups. You had to learn the wording. And at first, I was making it all about me. I created this pass. I love these coffee shops. You should go check this out because of me. Turns out that's not how it works. You need to flip it. This is a date night pass that's exciting for you to go do. Here's a date night pass that is only $20, but it gets you 11 date nights. Here's something for you to go explore and try something new in the area. So really changing that wording has helped a lot. And that's something I've been focusing on now, is trying to make it fun for the audience. So it's not always just, here's the Arizona Pass, It's like, okay, well, what are some different ways that we can explore? Because maybe some people aren't dating, so they're not doing a date night, but maybe they are going out with some friends. Okay, so let's do a girls' day pass. There's just different ways to word it. And I think it's very important to share it that way. So again, it's not about me, it's about you. Let's see. Oh yeah, I already kind of talked about that too, the value of the participating businesses. They continuously, actually, I just posted another reel, and I had the owner reach out to me 3 times in one day, thanking like over and over, thanking me, because he has seen so much business since I posted that reel. So the amount of business, again, by also working with the right creator, the amount of business that these people are seeing is so much more than they were before, which I'm happy about. That was the whole goal, right? Marketing tactics, I went over that a little bit, but again, it's sharing reels. I think that reels are great because it's visual. People can really see what they're getting into. Voiceovers are great. Anything that's really drawing people in and seeing what's a part of the pass is exactly what they're going to want to go do, most likely. And then lessons learned. The lessons learned kind of just takes me more back to the verbiage. I would be very tactful, if that's the word, about who you choose to work with, and also the verbiage that is being used to direct people to the pass.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Andrea. This is great. And I love hearing that so many of the business owners are so grateful for this opportunity. I know that, part of their participation is that they do have to offer an item of value. And so I can understand from a small business that could be kind of scary, but obviously you're clearly showing the ROI, and they're continuing to come back to you and saying, you know what, this is awesome partnership. We are so appreciative of it. So great work. So not only does Andrea have very strategic marketing tactics as far as like positioning the pass and messaging the pass, one thing that I also wanted to point out that we feel has really helped aid in the success is her cohesive branding. Every single like touch point throughout the entire pass holder journey has Andrea's stamp on it. And what that means is, some things just as simple as the images for each location. They're very inviting. They're very engaging. She's got her branding plus the business's branding. So I'm going to flip through a couple slides. Andrea, do you want to talk about kind of, the reasoning behind kind of this cohesive branding that you put together?
Yeah, I think that first and foremost, everything nowadays, I'm sure it always has been, but it's very visual. So if it looks messy or not cohesive, for me, I'm most likely not going to keep flowing through it. I'm probably going to be like, whoa, this is a lot to look at. All right, goodbye. So I find visually that is what's first going to attract the person, and then they're going to start to look into it. So that's exactly why I think that cohesive branding goes well. And these are actually, just to give everybody here a heads up, it looks as though we went and we shot these images, when in reality, we asked the company for the images and then we put our own spin on it. So you're able to do that. You don't have to go out with a photographer if you don't want to. if you do, you do, but you can also ask the company just for a really good image, and then you can create it how you want. And we actually used a service called Canva. So it's not simple, but it's simple. You know, you can do it yourself as well.
Yeah, I love that. And just to kind of add on that, we sell Andrea's Passit or the coffee collection on some of our third-party distribution channels. And again, it's performing really well on those channels. And I think it has and we feel that it has a lot to do with kind of this cohesive branding. The pass holders immediately engaged, and they immediately, or the travelers immediately engaged, and they immediately know what they're going to get. So not only does she have this incredible like digital, video content, but also really engaging imagery, and that's helping with the sales.
Yeah, imagery is huge.
Yeah. Okay, so now we actually are going to go ahead and play her reel for the coffee collection. So I will go ahead and press play.
Look at this. Have you guys ever heard of Novel Ice Cream? Turns your tongue blue. It's on Grand Avenue. They actually just made a new coffee shop. It's called Remix. There's a line already. It just opened. It's brand new. So the fact that people know about this is a good sign. They're known for like crazy drinks. They have a scanner. Oh my God. Oh, s'mores, Samoa, Dateland, cookie butter, grandma's favorite, which is macadamia and white chocolate. Okay, I'm getting I'm getting really excited now. It is part of the digital local Arizona Coffee Pass as of today. I'm thinking I'm gonna do the Dateland because it's part of the Arizona Coffee Pass. And then we're also gonna do the MLT sandwich. How many different sodas do you guys have? Cherry lime wire with Diet Coke. Okay, my sandwich. Oh yeah. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, go. This is Remix Coffee Shop, and it's brand new to Arizona, located in Phoenix. I loved my drink, which is why I added it as part of the Arizona Coffee Pass. For all pass holders, you get a free Dateland when you come in, and you have access to 11 total coffee shops in Arizona, each offering a free goodie when you arrive at the pass. Oh, and I can DM you a direct link if you want to. Just comment this below. My name is Andrea Blake, and I'm sharing my life living in Arizona, so if you like this, follow for more.
Yay. Love it. That's so good. One thing I want to point out that I loved just on this video is keeping the name really simple. Arizona Coffee Pass. You know exactly what you're getting, so I want to like reiterate that's really important as we are kind of like determining the themes and coming up with the creative for future passes.
And that was actually the video that the owner was messaging me 3 times in one day. So yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Awesome. Okay. So the video is probably going to play again because I'm going to flip to the next slide. So I apologize. Let's see.
You guys ever heard of?
Okay. So now we put together kind of some like hot topics, burning questions that everybody's wanting to know kind of about the influencer marketing. We're going to kind of run through those really quick. But again, if you have questions that you want to go over, pop them up in the chat and I will start answering those. Okay, so Andrea, from your point of view, what is really the value of partnering with influencers and influencer marketing?
Nowadays, people are more so on their phone rather than on looking through a magazine or looking on the TV. So this is an avenue that is a way for you to market your business. That's exactly what it is. It's as if you were reading a magazine, but you are watching an influencer. A lot of people, I mean, that's what I've noticed, especially I have people watching. Let's put it this way. I treat my channel like a TV show. I have people watching it every single day, every single moment to see what I'm up to next. And then as I'm doing what I'm doing, for instance, I sell these all the time. I just use it. But the thing is that people like to see what you're into and they like to be there. And so this is like the new age of marketing. And that's what it is. That's influencer marketing.
Love it. All right. So next question, and this one I'm sure probably will spark a lot of conversation, but kind of in your opinion, how can you leverage your community's creators? So across the country, how can destination marketing and partners connect with and work with the local creators?
So that's a great question. There are so many creators. However, the way to find the best creator for you is to look at their metrics. Is that kind of what we're going into right now?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
So metrics are huge. You can look at somebody's following, but that does not mean that they have people buying their shit. You know what I mean? So we just want to make sure that we find the right creator. The way to find the right creator is looking at their engagement. So you want to ask them, and if you are paying them by any means, you have all the right to ask them anything. You can ask them for screenshots of their metrics. how many people view their stories, what kind of link clicks they get. And you definitely want to look at their posts and their metrics on their posts, so their insights. So how many people are saving their posts? How many people are sharing their posts? This is huge compared to the likes. The reason you want to look at the saves and the shares is because that indicates that people are A, sharing it and they're probably going to go do it, or B, they're saving it to look back on later and either purchase or who knows what, hopefully purchase, right? So the metrics are huge when it comes to finding your creator. And they could be a small creator, but they can have big numbers. So you want to look at that.
Okay, so because it feels like there is kind of that misconception of like, what is their audience reach? But do you recommend that people really look and see, like make sure that their brand aligns with their brand?
Yes.
And then also what their engagement, okay, perfect.
Yes, absolutely. If you're trying to sell, let's put it this way, a wine pass, right?
Mhm.
And then you go to a fitness influencer, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So we really want to, if we're doing a wine pass, you want to look at more into like maybe lifestyle or travel, something where the audience, that you're going to resonate with that audience.
Perfect. Okay. Next question. Okay, so you talked about specific metrics. Anything else that you wanted to add, like kind of tag on or add to, what metrics we should be looking for?
Yes, if you guys are choosing to work with a creator and you're willing to offer them a code, this is a way to track ROI. So the reason I'm able to charge the clients what I charge is because I have a code that my audience utilizes. So let's say I just went to a resort, or you know what? No, let's put it this way. I went to a resort, I have a code. However many people use that code tells me exactly what that company made back. So ROI, metrics, numbers, those are huge when working with a creator. And that would be one of my biggest suggestions to really, again, find the right creator for you.
Awesome. Okay. And then as far as like quantifying the success, any suggestions on how clients and DMOs can quantify the success of any influencer campaigns?
Say that again.
So really, how do we quantify the ROI?
Remind me what quantifying means.
Like how do we measure the ROI? And
Got it.
Okay. Use the codes, how much bookings were created from those codes.
Yes.
So
Okay. So what I would initially offer for the codes is you can offer their audience like 10 to 15% off, just so it gets them to want to use the code.
Totally.
And then that's how you start to track it. Typically, I allow the code to be good for 2 months. That way we can really dedicate, okay, this is what we saw back in 2 months. So for instance, I worked with a glamping resort here in Arizona. I had the code up for 2 months, and within 1 month, they made back 18K ROI. So that's why you really want to utilize the codes, in my opinion. But also, again, you can ask these content creators for their media kits. If they have a media kit that's huge, then you can see all of their metrics, who they've worked with before. Hopefully they're using codes. Hopefully they have ROIs. And if they don't, you can always ask them to do that with you. Yeah. That's
Awesome.
what I would do. Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. So we have had a few questions come in through the chat. So I'm going to kind of run through those and kind of help walk through those. So I guess from your point of view, how can like potential clients, how can they find these creators? Is it through Instagram? Is it through word of mouth? Any recommendations on how in your local community you can find out who those influencers and kind of like travel movers are?
I've actually asked a lot of businesses when they choose to work with me, I ask them how they found me. They usually say that they found me through a website platform. I don't know which one that is. I wish I had more information on that. And if I can find it, I'll definitely let Kyla know, hopefully let you guys know. But I do know that there is a web platform in which you can find creators. In fact, there's a ton of different ones. There's one called, now that I'm thinking of it, there's one called, oh man, I need to figure out what they're called. But there are different ones. I know that for a fact. Otherwise, you can definitely Google. You can go on to the actual search engine of TikTok. You can go on to Instagram. You can type in certain keywords, and that's how you'll most likely find them. And if you do start to see some creators, you can go to who they follow and potentially see those people as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Love that. Okay, so we have a question specifically about the coffee pass. So Caleb asks, does a coffee shop have to pay to be a part of the pass, or do you pay them to be a part of the pass? How does that work since they're giving away a free item?
That's a great question. They are not paying to be a part of the pass, nor am I paying them. So what we have an agreement on is typically when working with me, one reel, such as what you just saw earlier, costs $4,000. So the reason for that is ROI again. So my thing is I'm going to put you on the coffee pass in which I then get my revenue. However, it's a way to get people in your door without you having to pay extra for me to post about it. So that is the way that I'm leveraging that. So either way, they're getting a great ROI back, and so am I.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and just to kind of add on that, are you creating content for each specific coffee shop?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
So, and then are they able to use that and share that as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the other thing is I do have copyright rights, I guess you could say. So they can't physically take personally, this is just for me.
Yeah.
Every creator is different. They can't take my content. However, I can add them as a collaborator. Okay. So there's ways to go about it. And then also when they're becoming a part of the pass, I go over all this with them. I let them know that no matter what, I will post about them at least once. I'll make sure that they are on my page. So in turn, it seems as though they're saving money and they're earning money because not only are they getting people in the door, but I've been asking them, are people coming in with friends? And they say yes. So I'm like, okay, so that's perfect because then other people are buying stuff. So again, it's just a matter of getting people in the door, getting more word of mouth, and that's the main goal there.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's see. Allison asks, are you working with SHRPA for influencer partnerships?
That's a good question. What is that?
So it looks like it's a kind of an aggregate of what you were talking about earlier is
okay.
Websites. So yeah, as an influencer, have you put yourself on any of these websites, or is there's so many?
There's so many of them. I know that I'm on a few of them. Like, oh man, I wish I knew what it was called. It's like Influencer Up. I can't remember. There's a few of them I'm on, but there are so many that right now I actually have a management team that I hired and they take care of it all at this point. Yeah. Awesome. That's why I wish I knew the answer to that. And I'm so sorry I don't.
Well, we'll follow up with everybody. Okay. Next question is, what is your choice of platform? And which do you see the most success on, and any recommendations?
That is going to be, from what I've learned, potentially different for a lot of people. I know that for myself, Instagram is huge. That's where I'm really myself. I can be myself. That's where people are really clicking on links, especially because you have the story feature. So you have the link feature there. That's where I sell a lot of my products. That's where, again, I could be more personable. I could share more of my life. People are just more enthralled there. Whereas on TikTok, from what I've learned, they're there for sure. But TikTok, for some reason, will shadow ban creators. And it could be a shadow ban for 12 hours or 2 days. It is nuts. One of my videos can get 70K views and the next day, 300. So it's just not as trustworthy, but it is there and it will be there if you need it.
Awesome. That's great to know. I had no idea that shadow ban. I had no idea that word even existed.
Yeah.
So next question is, what do you find works best for you? Short and quick videos, like under 30 seconds, or longer videos around 60?
It depends on the topic.
Yeah.
If I'm posting about, it definitely depends on the topic because I post about anything and everything. I posted about getting cheek filler. I posted about my braces. I've posted about hiking. So it really just depends how much information you need to give away. I do know that if this helps at all, TikTok wants long form content. So if you are trying to do something on TikTok, they do want long form. So I would probably make that more of a minute. But 30 seconds is just as fine. Okay. Instagram, on the other hand, they don't shadow ban like TikTok does. So you can really play around with it on Instagram. And typically it's seen by just as many people.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And then as far as like creativity, what do you like as far as having creative freedom, or do you feel like most creators want more of a strict itinerary and like clear direction?
For me personally, I like to have the freedom. I really do, because I work with a lot of clients. They're bigger, higher end clients, and they want a script. They want it scripted out, what you're going to do, what you're going to say down to the T. And that's really hard for me because let's say I'm in the moment and I'm like, well, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
In that case, I feel like sometimes it may come off to the camera like it doesn't feel right. But
Yeah.
I've learned over time, like I'll get it, you know. But I think having creative freedom to an extent, you definitely want to know what you're going to be giving the client, and the client wants to know vice versa. But having a little bit of that creative freedom really sets apart because you can genuinely feel it through the camera.
Yep. I agree with that. Do you feel like it's important to have kind of that open dialogue with the people that hire you as well?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
And then going back to like promo videos, so we have a question that says, how many promo videos have you made and how frequently do you promote them?
Wait, how many
1,000.
promo videos of what though? Of everything?
Maybe let's talk just about the coffee collection pass.
Okay. So in that one, I think I've made 10, probably 10 to 12.
Okay.
And then what was the second half of the question?
And then how frequently do you promote the different videos for your pass?
So that is actually going back to what I learned earlier. When I very first started posting about it, it felt like I was just yelling at them, get the pass. I made this pass. But then over time, I started to learn that when I changed the wording and I make it different every time, that's when people start to really get like interested. But you still want to make it different enough, or I guess not different enough to where they still know it's the Arizona Coffee Pass.
Yeah.
So did that answer the question?
Yep, that totally
okay.
did.
Okay.
That's good. Awesome. Well, I think those are kind of the, if anyone has any last minute questions, go ahead and throw them in and we'll answer them. Andrea, is there anything else that you kind of wanted to wrap up with? Do you want to let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to learn more or work with you?
Yeah, definitely. So I would love to take on new clients or talk to anybody that's willing to, work with me. If you guys do want to find me, my social media is at Southwest Sampler. That's on all platforms. I also have a website. It is called Southwest Sampler, www.southwestsampler.com. And then YouTube is Andrea Blake. That just started. So that's kind of fun. That's more into my life. And email is helloandreablake@gmail.com. And I focus on all things. That was my biggest thing, is I didn't want to have a specific niche because I really want to share my entire life.
Love it. How fun. Awesome. Okay. Well, everyone, I think, let's see. We've got one last question. It says, if you were to create another pass like the coffee trail, what do you think you would go with? Like a cocktail trail specific?
Well, so I actually have one in the works.
Yeah.
It is called the Agave Trail Pass. So now we're working with different restaurants throughout Arizona to bring them in. Same exact thing, except it's focused on mezcal. So that is in the works at this moment.
Yeah. Yay. And just to kind of like touch on that, I love this. So Andrea's done a really good job of kind of like finding creative avenues to work with other people. So she's actually partnering with a really high-end tequila distributor to kind of get those ins at those restaurants. So I thought that was a really fun kind of unique partnership. They're the ones with those relationships. And so, working with them is, I think, going to be kind of the reason, another reason this pass will be really successful. So yeah,
I'm excited about it.
Trail TBD.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I think everyone, that's going to wrap it up for today. We thank you so much for your partnership and for being here. We are thrilled to be working with you and thrilled for all the new product development that Bandwango is continually doing. And again, we're here to serve you. So please, as always, let us know how we can best serve you. So thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.